Greetings all and welcome back to Globbits Gaming Channel. My voice probably sounds a little bit different today. Basically there is now a microphone shaped hole in the wall where I've thrown this piece of junk standalone microphone that I bought. It's just not doing what I expected it to. It keeps altering its volume levels and it's generally just pissing me off, so I've gone back to my headset microphone. For today's video. What today's video is, it's a video on this thing. It's a port review with a game that I've literally played in the last, maybe hour or so. 3 attempts to record this video with varying degrees of failure, mainly due to this little 6-inch devil that is sitting next to me on the desktop. We won't talk about him anymore. Alright, off to the sin bin with you until I can figure out what's actually working, what's actually making you not work. It's really pissing me off right now. Anyway, we digress. So, today, port review on the Tirpitz. Okay, the Kriegsmarine Tirpitz, the Tier 8 premium battleship. If you've been in World of Warships and you don't know about this ship, alright, you've been hiding under a rock. It's the first entry of the German Kriegsmarine, okay? It's the Tier 8 premium ship. The sister ship of the Bismarck. Didn't really do a great deal in the war compared to the Bismarck, but hey-ho. She spent most of her time in, I think it was Norwegian fjords, getting bombed the living hell out of by the RAF. However, I wouldn't mind one of those lifeboats as a personal recreation boat. For all their faults, yeah, the Germans really did know how to build cool-looking machinery. Okay, and especially these guys here, these speedboaty type jobbies here, definitely be getting myself one of those if I had the option to. So, port review. I've just had the game of my life which has spurred me to do this, so we're just going to get straight into the details. This ship will cost you at the moment around about £42. Equivalent euros is around about 47, I think it is. It's near enough 50 quid. Just over 40. It's an expensive ship. Is it worth it? Well, I'll let my game be the judge of that. At the moment, I personally dislike battleship gameplay. I find it intensely boring, for reasons I'll explain during the port review. So, Tier 8 Tirpitz. Okay, what are you getting for your money? Well, you're going to get 69,300 hit points, which is a lot more than the equivalent Tier 8 cruisers that are currently in the game. The North Carolina and the Otago, I think it is. The Otago? Or is it the... Sorry, the Amagi. The Amagi, fully upgraded, has 66,000, as you can see there. And the USA's counterpart, the North Carolina. This is when the American ships start to get really sexy. This little bad boy, 66,000. So it's got significantly more health, 3,000 almost more health than the equivalent non-premium ship. You notice this? No, because that's a couple of HE shells away. But it's nice, nearly 7,000, 70,000. It's nice. It's really good. Gives it an 85 on the chart. Now, artillery. Battleships are all about the guns, and what you get on the Tirpitz are 8 in 4 double turrets. Okay. They're not exactly the largest caliber guns at Tier 8, only 380mm. Okay, now what this means is they're not as big as the American and the Japanese counterparts. The North Carolina also gets more. It gets 3 banks of 3 banks of 3, giving it 9 guns in total. And the is it the Megami? Shocking. Sorry, the Amagi, not the Megami. The Megami is the cruiser. The Amagi gets 10. Alright, it gets 5 twin turrets as opposed to just 4. Are you undergunned? Well, the jury's out. I haven't played the other ships, so I'm not 100% sure, but I seem to do okay with it. The jury's out. I believe that the dispersion is slightly better on the Tirpitz. It doesn't seem to shoot wildly as the other battleships in my personal experience do. And also, how can I put this? It reloads quicker. This is the good point. One of the good points about the Tirpitz. The standard battleships you've played so far, or if you've played any, will have like a 30-second reload. The Tirpitz isn't the case of that. It fires 2.3 rounds a minute, which basically means it shoots every 25 seconds, give or take. I mean, who's doing the maths? Every 25 seconds, which means by the time you've watched your shells hit the target and judged your aim and done all that business and all that whatever else, the guns are pretty much reloaded, so you've got better DPM. Armour penetration wise, I'm not going to crunch the numbers, but I don't seem to do that badly with the armour piercing. If you get like Yamatos and things like that, and Izumos and things like that, you do struggle to pen them, but it is what it is. You know, you're a tier 8 premium, you're not going to get the best of everything. You've got better hit points, so you can't really expect to have better guns. Okay, so your standard AP shells then are going to be doing at a Citadel 11,300. Okay, which isn't as much. I mean, with the the North Carolina, I believe you get a little bit more with the guns on the North Carolina. Let me just check. Yeah, you get 13,000 with the North Carolina. I think it's a pretty much similar story with the Amagi. Yeah, the 410s are slightly less with the 410s on the Amagi, but look at that, 1.7 rounds a minute. I'd rather have the 2.3 myself, but there's advocates for DPM, there's advocates for hitting power. Secondary armament then, your anti-aircraft secondary armaments are these 105s located in these turrets here. Well, they're not really turrets, they're sort of banks of like 2. And your true secondary armament are these 150mm turret-bound Dakar cannons. They're around about a range of about, let's say, 4.5. For the 105s, you're talking 4.5 again. It's not the greatest ranged secondaries in the world, but they're better than what I'm used to. Let's put it that way, at the lower tiers. So they're nothing to write home about. Let's leave it there. But a destroyer does find out to his peril in my game, where, yeah, don't get really close to this ship. Another reason why you don't really want to get close is because this is the only battleship in the game that gets torpedoes. Now, bearing in mind we've got a 4.5 kilometer range with the secondaries, if they get that close, you're going to be banging 4 torpedoes down the range at them. Now, I want to know from you naval buffs out there, you nautical buffs, did someone actually stand on here? Because if they did, they've got the coolest job in the world. These turrets, these little torpedo tubes here, they swing out over the side of the ship. So there's some poor dude halfway through the battle with HE shells raining everywhere, sitting on the side of the ship, lobbing torpedoes over the side. That has to be not only one of the most dangerous, but one of the coolest jobs on the ship. Our AAA armament isn't too shabby. Like I said, our 105s do double as anti-air with a range of 5 kilometers. Our flat guns 3 kilometers, and our 20mm 2.1 kilometers. So your basic standard close-in air defense is 2.1, your medium range is 3, and your long range is 5. It's not bad. It's not going to fend off high tier carriers though. They are going to get through. You pretty much want to stick to your cruisers, but you can hold your own if you have long enough to shoot the things, let's put it that way. But 47 on the AAA is not great, but it's not bad either. Let's just check that against the equivalents. The North Carolina's AAA is 60-73. It gets a hell of a lot more. It gets 5 inches, and it also gets lots of 40mm Bofors. Yeah, so we're lacking in the anti-air department, so you really want to be sticking to your cruisers, guys. Sticking to them like glue. Let's have a look at the Amagi. The Amagi's shocking. What's it like with the upgraded hull? Yeah, 57 with the upgraded hull. What's the other one like with the upgraded hull? I didn't look because I'm a noob. Yeah, it gets even better. 79. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we are really lacking in the AAA department, so you want to be taking friends or sticking with friendly cruisers, because 47 so it seems to not really make the standard. Maneuverability is okay. Its turning radius doesn't seem to be that slow. The rudder seems to respond nicely, and it has a top speed of basically 31 knots. I mean, who's 0.1 of a knot between friends? And the concealment doesn't really matter, because you're a battleship. You're not there to sneak around. You're there to blow shit up. So let's have a look at the gameplay. Okay, so first things first then. Matchmaking hasn't really done us any favours. We do out-cruiser them for tier. We've got 2 tier 10s, they've got 2 tier 9s. But they have a Yamato. And we also seem to have a little bit better destroyer department. So they've got slightly more advantage in the battleship era. We've got a little bit more advantage in the cruiser and destroyer lines. Now, is this going to make a huge difference? Well, yes and no. It's not a huge difference. I mean, take a look at the mini-map for yourself once we get into the game and see what you think. Now, it's a domination match on, what the hell's this map called? Let me just double check. Hotspot. I personally don't like this particular setup for the simple reason you start off miles away from the friendlies. Your team's basically split in half, and it does require teamwork, and this is MMO gaming. However, we do seem to do okay in this particular match. So let's just wait for the game to load in. Now, one thing I am noticing with World of Warships at the moment is I seem to be spawning in well after. At the moment, it's like 20 seconds into the game. I've already loaded my HE. My turrets are pointing the wrong way, and I'm still not in control. As soon as you see smoke coming out the funnel, that's when you know I've actually gotten into the game. Basically, I try and discuss with the team what would be a good advisable thing to do with regards to tactics right now. Basically, my suggestion is stay away from that Yamato and kill everything else, as you'll see in chat very shortly. Now, one thing's for sure. The Kriegsmarine do make a very pretty ship. This is a very, very, very good looking ship. Very, very nice looking ship indeed. Is it worth the gold? Or not even gold, is it worth the money? It depends on your outtake on World of Warships. Now, what I did with this ship, the YouTube channel makes a significant, well, not makes a significant amount of money, it makes about $10 to $15 a month depending, and this is based on my YouTube change. Now, you'll see that my aim has changed there. God, those guns sound sexy. What I basically did there is I put up my scout plane in order to be able to shoot my HE rounds at the Yamato. But the problem I have with this particular view is I just cannot seem to get my shells to actually hit the target, and I just overshot that Yamato. That was about a couple of feet to the right and I would have got him. So, lining up for another shot with the AP. I've still got the range. I've got 21k range normally, and I think it buffs it by about 20%, I think, or 10 or 15%, I'm not sure. So let's try some AP. Oh god, they just sound so good. They don't sound as good as the Yamato guns, but yeah, let's see what happens with these shells. Oh, these are looking good. A few of them might actually hit. Ping! Managed to hit him, but bounced off. Yeah, it's at a really oblique angle, and I'm hitting his deck. Doubtful that was going to pen anyway. Probably should have been firing HE. Let's take a few blind shots. And here we see the lesser spotted mountain. It's quite prevalent in this kind of map area. Yeah, you've got the grey mottling of the stone sticking out the side. It's also got some nice beaches down at the front there. Brilliant for stopping idiots that decide to sail into cliffs and mountains, but we won't talk about this any further because nobody saw it. I say hello to the island, give it my greetings, bang the ship into reverse, and carry on as if nothing happened. Now, the benefits of doing this, well, there aren't any. The main benefit for me, or the main upside to this, was the fact that there was nobody shooting at me, because when you beat yourself, leading the target is not an issue anymore. You really don't have to worry about leading the target. You just aim for the centre of visible mass, or maybe a little bit to the rear, and you basically blow big holes in them because they stood still. So, that little embarrassment over, let's get back into the game, shall we? Let's look for something to shoot at. Stick the ship into forwards, full ahead forwards. Quite a majestic little vessel, and I'm just scanning around for targets to the right hand side. You'll notice on the ship I have actually got some pennants fitted. I've gone for the repair cost pennant that I've got quite a few of, and I've also gone for the make me more money pennant because I seem to get quite a lot of first bloods and things like that. I have it on auto resupply on all of my premium ships. My Atlanta's got one on permanently because these ships are all about making the credits, not necessarily about making the experience, but definitely making the credits. So plus 50% credits at the end of this, plus the ship costs less to repair. Yeah, you could go for magazine detonation and all that kind of shenanigans and have it colourful banners all over it, but yeah, never mind. So, giving a nice bit of lead to this Baltimore. I think it's the Baltimore. It is. Now, when I'm seeing a cruiser that moves around about 30 to 35 knots, I'm aiming around 12 ticks in front of him, 12 segments of the reticle in front of him. It seems to serve me quite well here. Yeah, I make a couple of good hits. 2,200 health to a cruiser that can't regenerate. He's never going to get that health back, so any damage I do to him, he's the top tier cruiser. Is it worth a full salvo? Well, I've got nothing else to shoot at, so I decided just to shoot at him. Now that kind of pisses him off. That kind of rustles his Jimmy slightly. He spends the rest of the game basically chasing me down, trying to blow holes in me, but it's cool because I get the last laugh. So, hunting around for more targets. Can't really see a great deal. I thought at this stage of the game, oh my god, just going to end up sailing around in the middle of nowhere, not really shooting anything. Typical battleship gameplay. But what I decided to do now is balls to the wall and sail into the enemy down south, because there's a big net of Tirpitz down there. The 3 enemy Tirpitz are all down south on their own, basically getting taken apart by cruisers and destroyers. So let's go down and blow holes in them, shall we? Where the hell did that Baltimore go? The Baltimore's got some serious stealth capabilities. I'm a good, maybe good 15 kilometers away. I'd love to see the concealability on that ship. So lining up on the Tirpitz.
Those were aimed about 10 ticks in front. About 10 in front. The first salvo don't do too bad. I think I score a couple of hits here. See how we get on. Didn't watch them in, unfortunately, but the second set, yeah, 2,000 damage to a battleship. Yeah, not that great, but again, you know, if it forces him to use his damage repair, then great. Second salvo on the second Tirpitz, a little bit closer this time, so I'm aiming about between 9 and 10. First shots look good, but this guy's actually turned. He's in a full turn, so the second salvo aren't actually going to hit him, and the first salvo will decide to hit the greater spotted island at the back of him. Oh look, there's that Baltimore, and he's pissed at me. That guy's sailing straight towards me. He wants a piece of the globs. I think he's concentrated on the cruisers in Foxtrot 8 and Foxtrot 7, which is handy for now. I'm just going to keep my eye on him just to see if he pops up again. I need to be able to see him. I'm not going to fire a salvo, even though I reload every 25 seconds. It's a waste of a salvo, really, because something else might pop up. Just keeping a double eye on him, because those cruisers with those 8 inches, man, if they get behind you or they get round you and they start hammering you with HE, it can be problematic for your battleship, especially if you're on your own. And he's definitely got his attention now. If he hasn't already, his guns aren't actually pointing at me, but this is going to get his attention. Full broadside. Do I hit him? Let's wait for the target indicators. Yes, I've hit him. Okay, did I do that much damage? Maybe. I'm not sure. Hit him twice. And that's definitely ruffled his jimmies right now. That's twice I've shot him for nothing in return. Nearly reload up. 4 seconds in. Oh, hello. And we're taking incoming. Yep, he's finally realised I'm here. He's broadside on, but he's sailing away. Now, tip from me to you, whether you think this is correct, I very rarely shoot at the ships that are sailing away from me. They're very hard to hit. However, that Tirpitz on 13,000 health, he's ripe for an 8-round broadside, this guy. First turrets are in. Get him swung around. Oh, they look good. Second salvos. Yep, that's 4,000. And money. Hell yeah. Okay, I've taken a bit of a kick in, but what I'm going to do here, I'm going to repair the fire, and I'm probably going to trigger my damage control. Now here's the secondaries. There's my 5-inch secondaries and my 4-inch secondaries going in on this destroyer. He's dropped torpedoes, so give him a broadside for his troubles. I've got to get rid of this guy. This guy is dangerous. He's got torpedoes and God knows what else, but he sailed far too close to me. Destroyer captains do not get within secondary range of battleships unless you've got a full broadside of torpedoes ready, and you can get away. He's got no smoke, and yeah, that's the end of him. Alright. Who actually took him out? I think it was the New Orleans behind me. Is it New Orleans behind me? Is it New Orleans? Yeah, it's a New Orleans. So, cheeky shots on this guy maybe. Might hit the hills and another destroyer appears. Oh dear. 20-second reload. There's probably going to be fish in the water right now. Probably going to be fish in the water right now. If they're not, then so I'm starting to take slightly evasive maneuvers. Just keeping an eye on this guy. He's probably not looking at me. Looks like he's heading for the New Orleans. But then I get him in sniper. I'm loaded. I may as well. I know I've got AP loaded, but shells are big enough. You only have to hit him once. That was with help from the New Orleans, though that wasn't all me. Triggered my damage repair ability, regenerated about 4,000 or 5,000 health, which is all good. Pesky DDs. And then we spot a lone New Orleans class. Vokodlok. Very similar to one of my World of Warcraft characters, Vukodlak. Yeah, let's try and get this. No, he's going to get behind the mountain. Ah, well. And a couple of 8-inch HE shells hit me. Oh, and there's a Cleveland. Oh, hello. Right. FYI, Cleveland drivers, or Cleveland captains, you're good, but you're not battleship good. You're definitely not 2-tier higher battleship good to be able to basically DPS down 60,000 health by the time these 8-inch of these 380mm guns have taken a big chunk out of your health. Cruisers don't do very well when they get shot by battleships. They really don't. They can't regenerate, and especially if they're not shooting at you. Oh, my Lanta. Did they bounce? Really? Well, There's the Tirpitz's party trick going in right there. This guy probably doesn't realise that I have torpedoes. I've launched them at him at around 6.5 kilometres, and if he carries on sailing in a straight line, they're going to hit him. Nearly reloaded. 4 seconds. Now he's paying attention. Alright, here we go. Oh, 9,000 damage there, and he decides to stick his tail out into my oncoming torpedo, and the secondaries are going in, setting all kinds of fires and dramas. This guy's just... yeah. Okay, he set me on fire. He's done what? 8,000 damage? 9,000, 8,000 damage, probably not even that. He's barely scratched me, and... yeah. That was never going to end well. However, there is a destroyer there, which I suspected was going to launch some serious amounts of torpedoage at me. I've got a turret up still, so let's fire that in the earnest hope that I hit him. Unfortunately, Orange Jesus is not on my side, and the shots go wild. So everything's on cooldown, and now the pesky New Orleans Vokudlak there decides to start peppering me. Doesn't anticipate my reload though. Hello, fella. Fired to the right of him because I knew he couldn't turn into the island. Boom. See you later, pal. Okay, let's get the ship underway because I'm getting peppered by the that pesky cruiser over there. This guy here is becoming a real pain in my side. That Baltimore is still after me. Let's get shifting. Let's get shimmying. Let's put that 30 knot speed to work. I don't want to sit here getting HE to death, getting all my AAA killed by this guy. Putting a salvo into him. Let's see what happens with these. Full broadside. Oh, 7,000, 8,500. That'll do me. That's a big chunk of his health gone. A 7,000 hit. A cruiser does not want to be taking that kind of health damage because they just can't regenerate it. But with his last shells, yeah, he sets my ass on fire. My ass is burning, and my repairability is a minute on cooldown. It normally takes around about 45 seconds, you can see there, to put out fires. Obviously you can reduce that with captain skills later on. I would invest all my skill points in survivability with regards to battleships, guys. Anything that can reduce fire, flooding, repair time, anything like that. Your job is basically a bullet sponge. Oh, hello. A destroyer. Okay, let's snapshot him maybe? No, spliced him. Well, the rear turret gunners, come on rear turrets. The honour is yours. GG. Fantastic. How many destroyers have I killed? I think it's 2. I've killed 2 destroyers this game. Okay, so we've got the 2 tier 9 cruisers left. Now, if they got their heads together... oh, torpedoes are in the water. But what he was doing, he was aiming where he thought I was going to be, and he didn't give enough lead, unfortunately. So I managed to dodge those with relative ease. Okay, so we've got the Baltimore, and I think it's the Ibuki. Yeah, the Ibuki. The Ibuki, however, is border humping. This is a real scumbag move by this guy. Whether he did it intentionally, I'm not sure, but it's a very, very scumbaggy move. What happens in World of Warships, unlike World of Tanks, if you hit the map border in World of Tanks, it instantly stops your tank dead. In World of Warships, that doesn't happen. You kind of maintain your speed, but stay still. So you can turn and jink along the border, which is basically a game exploit, which is really irritating because the current tracking system with regards to targeting in the game doesn't compensate for the fact that you're on the border. But thankfully he manages to move away from the border. I don't know if you realise, but he was just going to get owned there anyway, bless him. And he got whittled down and taken out, which just leaves the enemy Baltimore. Now, he spent most of the game shooting at me, so it's time to get a little bit of revenge. I know where he is. Just going to sail around where I think he expects I'm going to go and see what happens. Now, the Baltimore doesn't carry torpedoes like the Japanese cruisers. They're not really that dangerous with regards to that nature, but their guns are very, very effective, especially when you get to the tier 10. The tier 10 Des Moines is ridiculously good. That's something like a 4.5 second reload with 8-inch guns, and there's 9 of the damn things. But let's see what happens. So I've got a full broadside loaded, I've got torpedoes ready, repairability's gone. I've used 3 of my hit point repair damage control parties, and to his credit, he actually stands and fights. He could, by all rights, have basically run for the map border, but he doesn't. I'll take a massive 20,000 Citadel with 4 hits for 20,000. Stick the torps down range just to give him something to think about. Took out one of his turrets. And in 9 seconds time I've got another broadside loaded. He's trying to take evasive action. I think he knows his numbers up right now. I'm aiming off and he turns back in again. So what I'm going to do is aim for where I think he's going to be. At this range, can't really miss. Another 4,000 off him. But unfortunately, again, this is another situation where he's underestimated my torpedoes. And there we have it. And that's what a battle results screen looks like when you get 6 kills in a Tirpitz. Don't be 750,000 credits almost, but that's with the banner, remember, so it's around about 500,000 credit total for that match, because you get plus 50% for the banner. But 500,000 credits for 15 minutes work, I'll take that every day. 5,727 experience, but you don't really bother about experience on this ship. Because you just use it for free experience, or unfortunately at the moment you can't put this experience towards the commander because it's a premium ship. I'm not sure whether or not there's an option to do that. I'll have a look in a minute. And 287 free experience. Got 42 hits, 3 torpedo hits. Yeah, that's 3 torpedo hits in a battleship. Shot down 1 plane. There was no carriers on this game. No carriers in this game, so that might have been a big contributing factor to my ability to do so well. Because this thing does not like carriers, does not like planes whatsoever. 4 incapacitations, 6 destroyed enemies, 3 flooding, and 1 hit to the Citadel. Alright, the team score, base experience of 2,545. That's one of my highest ever in World of Warships. I've played, I think it's about 500 games now. That's my highest so far. Significantly higher than anyone else on the team. Special shout out to my brother Tirpitz right there, and the Des Moines. He did really well. The other Des Moines didn't do so well. He got took out very, very early, Kamer. But it is what it is. Okay, and 70,000 damage with 21,000 torpedo damage. So all in all, 5,000 with the secondaries there. So let's do the maths quickly. So let's say 95,000 damage, give or take. Happy with that. Happy with that indeed. So that's the Tirpitz, guys. Doubtful there's going to be any more garage reviews for now, because my college course starts on the 2nd of September. So I am now in full-time education. So I hope to maintain and carry on with the channel. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time. Bye now.